1, 2, 3.
I'm sorry, were you crying or laughing?
I don't know, the point was to be ambiguous. The point was to be ambiguous. I need a minute.
I'm done with this show. I don't even know what to do with myself right now. I'm pacing. I don't understand why she helped them with the second code but then wouldn't help them with the third. Like,
maintain an appearance of innocence. Just like, he doesn't want me to tell you. And she's just sitting there like, I don't want to tell you. I'm awesome. So I don't know what her motive is, but...
Didn't see that one coming.
That. I have to say that.
Did anyone guess that? I haven't even seen any guesses that it was Meredith.
Applause to Meredith. You're running a chill operation, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
She was controlling Brunsky to do all of her dirty work, to kill all of the other people. So, you know, what it comes down to is probably just Meredith is another one of the very smart Teen Wolf villains who believes in Deucalion's philosophy of there's a threat, have someone else eliminate it for you. Just,
yep.
You're gonna go do that.
These, like, villains are so smart, but then it's like, why though, bro?
I mean, I guess they'll explain that next week. Big reveal part 2.
Parrish.
I really don't think that we're gonna find out what he is by the end of this season.
Honestly,
I feel like that might be like a season 5 thing, like Parrish's quest of self-discovery.
What am I?
Like, the big thing, I will say, I'm very glad we let him into the circle.
Finally.
I wish that they had shown more of it, but that is for purely selfish reasons, and I don't expect the editors to keep all of that in.
Why don't they just bring him to Deaton?
Because they're all stupid.
Yeah.
We never brought Lydia to Deaton either.
Why?
And I bet Deaton
would have known.
Deaton is an underutilized resource.
Honestly, like, that literally would have been my first thing. If Derek doesn't know, let's bring him to Deaton.
Parrish, just sit in this wheelbarrow, we're gonna...
To Deaton. I just want to know what he is.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I think that's all that he wants too, but...
I, like, don't even know what to say. I feel like the only real big thing was the Benefactor and Parrish. Oh. 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 Ah! Stydia! Oh my god! Ah! They were so cute! Oh my god! Oh my god! We're going back to season 1 and 2, Stydia, where Styles just wants Lydia to be okay and safe, and oh, and then there was the Lydia, don't listen to it, focus on my voice.
That was awful.
Sobbed.
That was awful.
Oh.
That was so rude. It was rude.
But yeah, oh my god, I loved it so much. And then Lydia trying to save Styles and being like, no, and then everything. And then Styles yelling at Brunsky, even though he knew that Brunsky had the power, and then Brunsky punched him in the face, and then Styles still got back up and was like, Lydia, no, don't touch her. Oh, I loved it.
That was an impressive noise.
Really? I feel like I've made that noise before. There were so many great Stydia moments this episode. I am so pleased. I love it so much. I love them so much. Can I have some?
Yeah. That being said, on the side topic of Stydia, I was really gunning for the whole, you know, there's a passcode, let's look for keywords that would be related to Lydia, and we all knew from the preview that she was going to write Styles' name down on the list, and I totally wanted to explain that away by saying, hey, Styles and Lydia, they have a connection, maybe the passcode is you, Styles, and then that didn't happen, and instead we said nothing about Styles' name being on the list.
Absolutely nothing.
And the thing that is the kicker is that the piece of paper that she wrote it down on is not the updated list.
It's a suicide list.
It's the already dead list. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a metaphorical thing, like like the thing that happened with the Nogitsune, or if it was like all of those people had been in Eichenhaus and Styles had also been in Eichenhaus, but because this is Teen Wolf, I can only assume that is something a lot more detrimental than that. And I don't like to think those possibilities because he's not allowed to die.
Unless they were trying to, like, allude to the fact that, like, Brunski was planning on faking their deaths like that, like he did. But also, he, like, only Styles' name was on it, Lydia's wasn't. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's a very, like, loose description of what that could have been.
Yeah, so I would like it if we addressed that.
Thanks.
And then you have Lydia on her own, and, you know, Lydia finding out more about her family and past. A bulk of that was in this episode. I think mostly what I walked away with from that scene, besides just more general knowledge, we finally got the answer that Natalie refused to give us about why Meredith was at the lake house in the first place. We were all like, wait, just one gosh darn second. So they just delayed that because they wanted to use all this cool cinematography.
It was so great.
With Lydia just walking into a different... I'm a sucker for that.
It literally was so cool.
Like, they used to do that on, like, the class... I personally think that it must be one of Jeff's favorite cinematography moves, because I don't know if... Like, Jeff has to have some control over this, but, like, that was the thing back in season 1 of Criminal Minds, of, like, cameras going through photos on cork boards, and it would just... And then you'd be at a different crime scene, and that was the transition. Or, like, you know, the camera would, like, do, like, a 180 pan of, like, just a character walking, and then they would walk from, like, the boardroom that they were, like, briefing in into the crime scene, and then they would talk as the unsub, and I was just like, oh, I love that cinematography. So Jeff, if that's your decision, like, I love that decision. It's so cool.
God bless all of it. God bless all of the people on Teen Wolf.
God bless the people who made this, like, actually edited that shot, just like...
It was so great.
Oh, television, man.
Teen Wolf cast and crew, you were on the ball.
I want a Meredith Peter face-off.
Yo!
I want Meredith to personally be the one that's responsible for that, like, half-burned Peter in the...
I wonder if Peter knows it's Meredith, or even has any, like, inkling that Meredith is a thing.
That's another thing. There was just, like, a very disappointing lack of
Peter
Hale. I know I get upset every time there is one character who isn't included in an episode, and, you know, you can't expect that in a television show.
There's also
but I also just wish that there was more.
Yeah. There was also
Ham and Kate.
I was gonna say there's also a lack of Kira, but, like, they explained her going away.
Right. Like, she has a plausible exit. Leah and Mason. That's another person. It's like, okay, we got Parrish into the circle. Mason's next.
Bring him in.
Wait, nope.
No, don't bring him in.
No, I want him in, but I said, like, Mason's next, but Mason's not next. I want, like,
Goes
Mama
first.
Martin.
I feel like Papa McCall has to go first.
Like, he's been stabbed.
Yeah.
He needs to be
been stabbed. He shot some chemist in the head. Like, he is at the top of this list. Then Mama Martin.
Then Mama Martin.
Then Mason.
Then Mason. In that order.
That's how it's gotta go.
But, you know, even though he doesn't know, Mason was still a hero. You know, he is the kind of wonderful person. He was just like, I don't know why this music is poisoning my best friend, the lacrosse captain, and this lacrosse captain's girl chick friend over here, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would music poison people? Oh well, that's what they said, so I'm just gonna turn off the music, this giant bonfire anyway. Like, way to operate on faith, Mason.
That was so great! And it's like, the thing is, though, it's like Mason's personality is so much like Scott, where it's like, he just wants to do good, and he wants everyone to, like, be happy, and, like, I want him in the loop so bad!
What I think is really cool is that you have a werewolf and a human as best friends, but I think character-wise, Liam is a lot more like Styles in the sort of, like, I mean, like, he worries about Scott a lot, and, like, he has a good heart, but, like, he's very rash.
Yeah.
And sassy. And even though Styles is like down here with lacrosse and Liam's up here with lacrosse, I find that like Mason is a lot more like good-hearted, I'm just gonna operate on faith, go with it.
Yeah.
Like Scott, and then you kind of have Mason, and then you kind of have Liam, who is a little more like Styles, and I think that that's really cool.
Liam is nothing like Jackson.
Just because he has nice hair and a chiseled face.
And just because he's good at lacrosse doesn't mean that he's...
16-year-old.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Why'd you have to do that? We didn't need to talk about that. Just because a character is good at lacrosse like another character was, and because they both have that very attractive face, don't. That doesn't mean that they're like the same character or that Liam's Jackson 2.0. Shut the... Liam is a puppy! So everybody knows that I love Liam a lot. I hate you. Don't even give me that look. I am very, 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 very worried. He went from being 3 million to 18 million! 18
That's...
million.
I was gonna make another age joke.
Why? Why you gotta be like that?
I don't know. You said 18 and I was like, it's more than his age. I don't know. It came to me. It spoke to me.
Literally the only 2 people who are worth more than him at this point are Lydia and Scott. I understand where they're going with that and how like Derek was like, oh, Liam's gonna be such a strong werewolf because of the anger and stuff.
I wonder if the beta of a true alpha
is stronger
than a normal beta. I wonder if any of Scott's power, because they're stronger in packs.
Yes.
So if you are literally the beta, if you are bitten by someone who is a stronger alpha.
That's true.
Liam's probably stronger than the average beta even without the anger issues.
That's very true. Before anyone says anything, I know that he's not gonna die because he's confirmed for season 5, but that does not mean that he cannot be seriously maimed, injured, or harmed, and I don't want that either, so still worried.
And of course we wouldn't be in this debacle if it wasn't for Derek not being a werewolf anymore.
He's gotten so good at fighting, and I'm so scared because when someone gets good at something, you know that something bad is going to happen to them.
Clearly, he's been doing some agility training with Brayden. Derek is taking all of this news very, very well.
Yeah,
which is very, very saddening and frightening to me because we all know that Derek's sort of having identity issues now that, because he was born a werewolf and now he's suddenly not. He's human, he's weak, he's defenseless, by his standards at least. Scott was kind of just like, Lydia predicted your name, and he was just like, they don't predict danger, they predict death. And I'm pretty sure that that was the last we heard of him until he came bursting in to save Scott.
But also, he seems super, like, okay about it, and I don't like that.
It's Derek.
I know, but that makes me super sad, because, he, like, he's been through so much shit that it's literally like, if I die, I die. Like, no, sweetie, no, don't
you
die.
want to stay alive to, like,
do more agility training?
Right? I'm going to take one of our friends' words on this, because I don't have any better words. So thank you, Allie. As Derek's powers decrease, his sass increases.
It's so true.
And it makes me very happy because sassy Derek Hale is wonderful. Sassy Derek Hale. Malia's there. I don't know what she's been doing with Peter or what situation she's worked out. It was nice to see just a little bit of that bonding moment that Scott had where she just let Scott talk to her because she wasn't drunk. I mean, the music might have already been affecting her, but she let Scott do his bit, do his talking, and the whole, you know, we can't get drunk, and then he tried to talk a little bit about protecting her. Don't know what Peter's angle is of, you know, yeah, they're right. Like, you need to be protected from me. That frightens me. Just as much as it seemed to frighten Scott.
Mind games.
I was glad that we got a little peek at Malia. She's not completely off the map. I'm sorry that more than likely these videos are up later in the week than I intended.
Sorry.
Between the actual airing of this episode and when I will manage to edit these videos and get them up on YouTube, I will be / have been up at school at Colgate University helping run a pre-orientation program for incoming freshmen for theater.
Nice plug.
So that about wraps it up for this week. Thank you for watching Perishable with us, and we'll see you all next week.
Ow!